time. Okay, so it's Rel, but nothing that's going to really like warp the game whatsoever. It's just an engaged champion, so I don't get why you blinded Yorick there at all, unless they were worried that Whippo was going to blind it and take it away. But like,
also, to make it even funnier, it's into an Alistar.
Raptors are gone, and obviously we'll be able to push him out as Busio comes over, so they will be able to defend the red, which is quite nice.
Oh, but now there's already a problem. Quad just gets caught here in the river, or does he? Flashing forward for the Twin Fang. It's first blood over to FlyQuest.
Like that means Feast is going to be back up immediately off cooldown, and he's just going to be able to continue feasting things off CD. Because I don't think we're going to see too much here.
Vulcan wants to keep going for it, though. Masu having to spend both summoner spells as now Blabber ready to try to flash forward to grab the kill. And there it is, the point-blank spear to seal. Quad's going to lead the way, sidesteps out of the cage. Inspired, ready to back him up here. Thanatos just trying to walk it off. Inspired, saving the audacious charge. No way out of that miasma. A little bit more damage will do it, and Quad gets the kill.
And there you go.
3 grubs here for FlyQuest. Going to be feeling really good about that. Obviously beneficial for your team, but keep that cooldown up and available to potentially look for a fight.
Ooh, Blabber finding Inspired here. The Xinjiao has secured the Scuttle Crab already, and now Inspired's ready to try to turn this back around. A nice rupture coming in from Whippo. Blabber throws up the shield. He's trying to escape in time. A little bit more damage is still required, and the feat of warfare is going to be claimed by FlyQuest. Now Whippo, stuck in a 1v3, will end up being an even trade.
Then he can finish it off with an auto, though, and you know it is a 1-4-1.
Ooh, Masu in some trouble as he gets caught up in Sven's lockdown. Blabber's there to back
it out, and they're able to lock him down. Let's take another look, though. Whippo back up with the Maiden, and the Maiden says goodbye.
That stack there, because these neutral objectives do give you the unlimited cap feast stacks. It doesn't count towards minions. They will be able to take down this tower on bot side, though, as they are overloading this side, and Quad may have trouble actually defending here. They can keep pushing.
Yeah, here comes Blabber. Okay, we've got the Herald summoned up mid by FlyQuest to immediately force down the tier 1 turret, so they'll take that one, get a very slight gold lead onto the Cho'Gath.
Yeah, it is getting low, though, now, so it's getting close to feast range, so he's probably going to feast it again. You can't just one-shot anymore, but we're fighting on bot side.
Yeah, bottom side, we've already got the fight over the Drake, as immediately it's going to be claimed by C9 and Blabber, but now he's got to be careful. The Realm Warp, Loki trying to get the rest of the team out of here, as now Blabber's going to be caught over the wall, and a beautiful shot from Masu to finish him off. That's 2 kills going for FlyQuest.
Solo tower gold on the bottom tower. That is down there as well to funnel more money into Quad. Again, this is 3-kill Cassio.
To carry this game, as now the top lane tier 1 turret about to fall. Whippo crashing the wave into that one. Brings the gold lead for FlyQuest at taking neutral objectives because of the high DPS nature of her kit. So Quad and Whippo, they've already got this down to about half HP. C9 not moving towards it. Busio still just hanging out over the wall in case somebody tries to approach from the tri-brush. Yeah, this one's already done. They want to give the feast over to Whippo, and it looks like he secures that one. Thornbound Otacon goes FlyQuest's way alongside the boot reward, not even 21 minutes into the game.
Yeah, and you definitely, you agree with that call, right, for Cloud9. You don't want to actually fight right now. The Cassio had the tick over with here on the rise with his Realm Warp ready.
And once you hit 16, especially for the Yorick, the Maiden just has so much health that then
Cassiopeia proccing, giving that extra level. He is more than 2 full levels ahead of Loki in terms of EXP. Has now Inspired, has stepped into the enemy jungle, takes a little bit of damage. Blabber with a nice secure there onto the blue buff, but now he's in danger himself. Whippo ready to join up here in the fight as Vulcan tries to go for an engage, but Inspired doing a good job staying alive there with the ulti. Quad with the flash back over the wall, but Quad is shut down. Big movement there for C9, but FlyQuest are not yet finished. They're going in after Sven. Inspired, but the wind becomes lightning. But a nice shutdown back over to Loki as he picks up the kill onto Whippo's Cho'Gath. Now FlyQuest have to try to exfiltrate the hot zone and do it without losing anybody else. C9 trying to cut him off. Thanatos gets another heal from Sven. Masu, Inspired, and Busio, or just Masu and Busio trying to walk out through the bottom lane now as Inspired is grabbing himself a Gromp. Blabber rejoins with a Grand Starfall. It's a 4v2. FlyQuest turn away. This one's about to get ugly. Masu wants to bring somebody with him. He flashes back out. Blabber stays alive.
For Thanatos.
Yeah, Thanatos about to meet a whole lot of FlyQuest pressure as Loki Realm Warps up into the lane, but it's still pretty hard to do anything here. You're still vastly outnumbered for the time being. Sven's ulti is not nearly enough to save Thanatos. Whippo loses half HP in the fight, but that doesn't matter too much. 45 seconds with the C9 top laner dead.
Yeah, they do actually get that kill again. Not able to get the feast stack, unfortunately. At first, oh, they're just going to start this. They're just going to start the Baron right now.
Okay, C9 on the approach. They got themselves in a 4v5. They've got to try to stop FlyQuest from being able to secure this objective. Right now, Inspired and Quad just two-manning the DPS as Masu and Busio try to interfere on the C9 approach. Busio immediately jumping in for the headbutt pulverize onto Blabber. Quad moves up to throw the miasma down, and Blabber's out of the picture. Enemy jungler taken care of. FlyQuest never even dropped aggro on the Baron. They're going right back into the pit to finish what they started. It's Baron for Fly, 27 minutes in.
And it's all because they got that
Talked about a little bit earlier with C9 at least being able to buy themselves time to not have to contest these dragons with the early ones they secured. This would be a whole lot scarier if you didn't have those first couple.
Injection of gold.
Yeah, I don't think Thanatos or the Maiden or the Ghouls or anybody is walking up to save that one as Busio is launched by the Blast Cone further forward to see if maybe there's a wraparound angle to go ahead and assist Bwipo, but now Busio has already lost almost all of his life. The Senna ulti flies out. Busio survives and does not spend the Unbreakable Will to do it. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Loki was pushing the whole time. He claims a tier 2. Now,
Incredibly tanky.
And as Quad gets it low, Inspired is going to make his way over just in case there's no chance for Blabber to do a crazy entry into the pit like what you're seeing right there. Blabber makes his way over as Inspired and Quad are ready to fight back. Busio and Masu off to the side of the fight as Bwipo is ready to teleport in right on top of everybody else. Tons of damage here on Vulcan as Masu is firing straight through his heart. Blabber's already down to the snake bite venom.
Hey, though, that play, really, really good. Wait a second.
Okay, Bwipo might have walked into some trouble because Loki's ready to TP in and join Thanatos here for the 2v1 against the FlyQuest top laner. But now Bwipo's got a little bit of backup as well. Quad makes his way down to the fight with his own TP to try to keep Bwipo alive. Now he's got the miasma out. Thanatos trying to catch up. Sven looking for the damage, but Bwipo stays alive. Saving Private Bwipo is the name of the movie, and Quad is the star actor. A double kill for the FlyQuest mid laner, and Busio is ready to line it up for number 3. Bwipo gets his shield and walks right back away. Quad grabs another one, and FlyQuest just dance around him.
In Bwipo's time of need, Quad is there on his signature pick. That Fed Cassio comes up huge with the teleport. He defends his teammate, and FlyQuest with the Baron are going to take C9 buildings.
Yeah, Quad is already up over 3K. I mean, Loki TP'd in way earlier, but anything you could do, I can do better. Quad shows up. Even with the Senna there, it just didn't even matter. They're cracking the base, and there's still some time on these death timers here. They could potentially just go to try to end it.
Yeah, it's 5 seconds on Thanatos, 10 on Loki, 15 on Sven. They're going to go for double inhib at least. They've still got the Baron for another 2 minutes almost. FlyQuest continuing their push, continuing their pressure. The waves will be forced down. They've got 2 waves ready to crash into the Nexus turrets at the same time. A ton of damage onto that first Nexus turret already killed as the Vulcan goes in for a big 2-man Magnet Storm. They need more damage to kill Quad. Blabber makes his way towards the FlyQuest mid laner, but where is the damage? Where is the threat? Quad with a flash away to stay alive as Inspired kills Sven in a 1v2 with the backline at the same time. He's got the Guardian Angel. He will resurrect as Masu goes on a killing spree and Loki goes down. C9 melts as FlyQuest have made their way onto the Nexus itself. They will take game 1 of this series.
Well played to FlyQuest there. Quad, the big star.
He's slightly weaker because of Emilio.
Yeah, I don't love it in Emilio, but that's what they got.
Yep. I gotta ask you, Licorice, which comp do you like most between C9 and Flies?
I mean, C9's comp.
Go ahead, start up this first Drake.
Look at this flank around by Quad. They don't want to let them have the dragon. Quad is level 6 on the Annie.
Oh boy, Blabber's walking right into the rush there, immediately gets stunned up. Busio hits him with a follow-up handshake. Blabber trying to create some space, but it won't matter. Fire beats the tree, and FlyQuest is on the board first.
That's 2-time MVP down.
They got him. He's out of the picture.
Inspired, though.
You get bonus gold for that kill?
Yeah, you should.
Trophy pops out or
Based
something?
on awards. Inspired, the other 2-time MVP that we have here, is going to actually claim the dragon, and that is just another good play by Quad.
It is going to hit a point where you get to that late game where you can win in the 1v1, you can win in the side lane, so Thanatos just needs to survive.
Yeah, but right now, Bwipo has already gone in with the showstopper, trying to beat Thanatos down here. Big Haymaker comes out, but Blabber has already made his way into the fight, and that means Thanatos.
Players are always complaining about junglers, but they completely chain matchups like that. And as you say, the Gwen getting the kill really feeds into that scaling advantage that he wants to get later.
And if you hadn't heard some of these stories, you know, some of the stories that I'd heard about this matchup were pretty funny. Is that, you know, Bwippa would come in, bringing the set into the Gwen, and then he's playing Ignite. So then the next game, Thanatos is playing.
You can see that C9 was around the area, thinking about a potential fight, but now thinking better of it. As with FlyQuest being first to the Drake, there's so many of those Callista spears. So considering Inspired is going for more damage-oriented stuff here on the Wukong, it's not going to work out the same, but now Thanatos once again going to be in some danger. Showstopper right back away from the turret. Thanatos keeping himself alive for now, but a flash over the wall from Inspired.
Tier 2 boots already has his first item completed. They will grab Feats of Strength off of this, though, as Bwippa is going to take that first tower down on bot side, so FlyQuest will get something there, but they are able to...
Their Trinity forces. We've got the Wukong and Corki both locked and loaded with those. Quad versus Thanatos up here on the top side. Thanatos just trying to hop, skip, and jump away from this one, but Quad immediately chunks him for a massive amount of HP, forces the Gwen back, takes the tier 1 turret. In the meantime, now Bwippa's moving through the enemy jungle, seeing if maybe he can catch Thanatos here on a lazy recall. Thanatos going to get all the way back behind that tier 2 turret, though. But yeah, here comes Bwippa. Quad's still here. Tibbers is still angry, knocking the minions over. Loki's working on the tier 1 turret in the bottom lane at the same time. But a tier 1 from a tier 2, I might not be a mathematician, gentlemen, but I think the tier 2's worth more.
Yeah, I always love ultis like that. With Dragon coming up, they have an easy place on the map to go, so teleport for Cloud9. They want to fight it.
C9 are already going to be over there, though. They're there first, and it looks like FlyQuest going to be maybe too late.
FlyQuest still thinking about the approach here as Inspired jumps in after Loki, but does not want to commit the ulti here just yet. Quad goes in for the play on Sven, but he's not going to find the engage he looks for. Quad instead shut down by Thanatos, who's made his way into the back lines of FlyQuest. Now Sven is in danger, but he won't die to the Haymaker here just yet. And Loki is still DPSing and messing up everybody on the FlyQuest side. Inspired falling all the way back now, needs to continue the retreat because FlyQuest has already lost 3 men. Concerned about keeping this thing alive at this point in the game. They'll let that one fall. Loki will pick up the payday on that. Nearly has the
individual matchup, picked up a couple kills, has closed that gap, but Otacon has been started here. FlyQuest just want to keep the pressure on. They know it's not going to get better for them.
Yeah, FlyQuest rushed the Otacon at 20 minutes in game number 1. Now they're doing the same thing here again in game number 2. Bwippa's going to be your target here at the very start of the fight, but Set is very tanky, wants to find a little bit more damage right on back, and Vulcan is nearly killed instantly by the Haymaker. Now Blabber's here on the front line as Inspired goes into the back line of C9, but it ain't going to be enough as Sven has already got the kill, but a nice hostile takeover. Sven executes his own teammates as Masu keeps jumping forward and takes Sven down. Loki wants to get one, and he will, but it comes at the cost of an ace. FlyQuest up and available for the side of FlyQuest. The Otacon is right next door, and Inspired goes in after Sven. The Cloud9 AD carry manages to disengage here as Inspired drops his clone. You're going to see Masu go for an early Fates call there on the Bootsio, looking to keep him alive as well, but Bwippa has made his way into the fight, and now Loki's going to be killed as things just barely start. Thanatos tries to run as Inspired makes his way into the mix, and Bwippa is still alive here too. Sven tries to approach the tribe rush. Blabber wants to try to steal away this Otacon. FlyQuest, they may have picked off one of the Cloud9 players, but they don't have a lot of health to work with. Bwippa is going back to the base. He'll be able to TP to try to rejoin the fight, but now Otacon is losing his patience, and his health has already regenerated back to 100%. Bootsio still very low on HP. Bwippa's going to teleport and rejoin the fight now. C9 trying to slow this down, trying to stop this, but try as they might, there's simply not an angle to do it. There are too many spears in the Otacon, and that objective after the soul. Loki on the long approach, making his way back up here. Inspired still doesn't have his smite back up, ready to go here just yet. Blabber ready to smite on the Maokai. Inspired makes his way back over towards the objective, as now Blabber's going to be in some danger. Uses Twisted Advance, trying to get away from the damage on the Haymaker, as Inspired has found the enemy mid laner. Bwippa's on a killing spree, and Thanatos is already dead. The Hex does go over to C9, so they'll stop the soul for now, but Blabber's got to be careful. He nearly dies, but he baits them in instead. C9
is just destroying them in the backline, even Valks into the pit onto Masu's head. They get the dragon, they should be able to get the Baron. Bwippa trying to make it happen.
Yeah, Bwippa's going in, wants to try to get that last shot there onto Loki, but the Haymaker doesn't hit. It's an ace for C9. Baron, the prize.
FlyQuest are going to regret that one so hard. In the face of a Dragon Soul and a Baron, Otacon is nothing. And Otacon takes a long time. They could have chosen...
also saving his team from having to suffer that Hex Soul. Inspired was off to the side fighting Loki like you were talking about. He wasn't even close enough to try to smite fight for the Drake.
Yeah.
So C9 really just setting up the battlefield exactly how they needed to guarantee a big win there, as now they're going to force their way into the FlyQuest base. That bottom lane inhibitor is already destroyed. Whippo is set up defensively here with the Nexus turrets. Finally, Quad and Busio making it back to the base to try to continue defending. Whippo flashing forward, wants the engage. Blabber jumping in with a twisted advance. Whippo losing a ton of health. Quad wanted to grab the burst, but there's not enough damage. Whippo with a huge haymaker to kill 2. FlyQuest hold the line as the true damage is just way too much. One last hit from Masu takes down Sven, as Inspired is the sacrificial Wukong. It does not matter. It's a 5 for 2. It's a full ace. It's Baron wiped off the map as FlyQuest hold the line.
What a game from Cloud9 and FlyQuest. Here is the siege with the Baron buff, and it gets so dicey for FlyQuest, but Whippo goes for the huge dunk.
Yeah, we got to see how much damage this haymaker did, because the bar gets filled up, but then he catches up with
Soul again.
He's teleporting up here. They want to flank.
Okay, C9's on the run. Nice engage coming out from Masu and Busio. Sven tries to get away over the wall, but he's already been killed as Whippo makes his way onto Loki's Corki. A double kill for Masu. Thanatos should be next to fall. Quad trying to stay alive here with a bailout, but they don't do it in time. That'll be a 1-for-1, but a 4-for-1 overall as C9 gets completely mopped up at only the cost of Quad.
Well, the question is, can they actually just like end the game? There's 40 seconds on some of these respawns. How aggressive do they want to go? Will they just go for the inhibitor and back to the soul, or are they really going to try to push for a ton?
But Whippo is tanking the turret to guarantee that the wave stays in as good a shape as it possibly can. It's only Vulcan around to try to clear things out. Melio has very few offensive tools to do anything at all. Sven is going to be alive in 5 seconds. FlyQuest still going to continue their push for now. You can see the Void Grublings showing their way up here, moving towards the Nexus turrets. FlyQuest are going all the way for the throat on this one. Sven's going to try to defend, but he doesn't have the firepower. 18-14, FlyQuest ended. They're going to match point.
Yeah, and they get another kill for the road. The haymaker draft.
How do you lay it out as far as early game steps into the mid game here?
So the really confusing thing is you just have 3 really good lanes right now for Fly. You have Renekton, who's going to be suffering by himself. Trundle has
far in the series.
And because Bard has such high move speed across the map, even early on, they actually sent Busio all the way up to cover 1,500 gold in inventory right now because he has taken 1 less recall.
Ooh, nice smite there from Inspired. He steals away the first grub before Blabber can guarantee it because his own smite isn't ready. Now Thanatos continuing to try to get in the face of Whippo's Nidalee, but Whippo is not really afraid to scrap back and forth in those quick trades. So single grub over to FlyQuest. Blabber now has his smite, so C9 is going to go right back into the pit. Remember that FlyQuest has been in control over the grubs so far in the first couple of games. C9 still trying to work on this grub. Inspired goes in and he steals it away again. 2 grubs started by C9, 2 grubs stolen by Inspired.
And the reason he goes is because he upgraded his smite already. So he came in with a 900 damage smite to the 600 of Blabber.
Moves from Bard. Like, Bard could actually move up top from mid lane. It looks like that's exactly what he's doing. Busio and Masu at least cheating towards that top side to threaten a potential dive.
Yeah, the Bard ultimate is ready if they want to go for a tower dive.
Okay, Thanatos, he can see Busio there in the tri-brush thanks to the ward. Whippo going to keep shoving up like this right now as Busio could be in some danger. Thanatos hits him with the stun from the Ruthless Predator. Blabber still in control over the Drake on the other side of the map, though. Busio goes on a magical journey straight back to safety, but it's Hex Drake secured by C9 at the same time, while Thanatos continues trying to absorb the pressure from Busio's roam up here in the top lane. Now, the damage over time from the Void Grubs is doing a little bit of additional work here, as Whippo and Busio not quite enough to force down the third plate.
And good job by Thanatos. I mean, they had the ward there. He goes, he fights off the Bard, makes sure there's not going to be any further losses up there while the rest of the team secures the dragon.
And this is just really good macro play because basically Thanatos just holds on until Loki can TP top to cover, and now they're looking for a play of their own.
Loki goes in, finds the shuffle onto Busio, who goes on a magical journey trying to get away. Whippo wants to try to escape the wrath of Vulcan and Loki, but it ain't going to work.
To him again as they go for the bottom tower simultaneously, though. Whippo had pushed in there on the top side. Loki was trying to get there, and it is going to be the the tower
But
here.
you can see nobody's moving up to try to contest this. They know that C9 just have better control over the river, and they earn themselves the objective.
I mean, it's going to be so
Make
close.
these plays happen, force out these summoner spells, and now with Blabber right behind him, you've got Azir and Trundle. You will tear through a turret. There is nobody from Cloud9 nearby, so for as much as we were hoping to see some big battle, some big scrap over the feats, we're not going to get it after all. It's just
See if he
inspired.
could actually wrap around, but he got too close to the wall and did end up banging into it. Because sometimes when you are driving it against a Bard, you can actually just kind of dodge the tower and turn and delay. If you
Mind
really
game
go
him.
with the driving, exactly. And try to delay that hit. Of course, was not able to do so. And so they negate that.
Okay, Thanatos versus Whippo up here in the top lane is not going Whippo's way as Thanatos with the dominus just slices and dices him down. Thanatos with a solo kill while the rest of C9 is taking the tier 2 turret over in mid lane. It's kills, it's objective, it's everything. There's no Cassio or anything to really help with the DPS. As C9 once again, remember, last time the red buff spawned for FlyQuest, Blabber was in there. Now he's in there yet again. He's going to be juggled back though. A seismic shove knocks him down. Blabber got the red, but now he's dead. Vulcan tries to escape, but Whippo locks him up. Vulcan falls next, and FlyQuest have already found 2 kills. Sven has to flash the Tempered
There goes
Fate just to get
Otacon.
away, and now you've got the Kai'Sa and the Azir both trying to escape, but Whippo's ready to cut him off. Now Sundisk might give C9 an opportunity for an outplay here, but again it's inspired with the tackle into the wall. Loki tries to get something back, but he dashes over the unraveled earth. Everybody on C9 is just dropping like flies. Now Thanatos at least is towards the FlyQuest base. He's working on trying to knock down this tier 3 turret
who
in the
cares?
mid lane, but man, C9 just tossed away the entire lead.
Yeah, that is crazy. They invade for this red buff, and they just 100 to 0 CC Blabber. He can't even get the ultimate off for the healing. He can't get a flash off. They lose all of those kills. 4 kills plus the Otacon out of nowhere. And FlyQuest has been so good at punishing any overstep from Cloud9. It wasn't really an invade they needed to go for whatsoever, but they wanted to do it, and FlyQuest are there to punish.
Exactly.
So if Whippo gets chunk on him, it's going to stick, and Thanatos is going to be taking some damage here. He's down to about half.
Quad's already riding in on the Weaver's wall. Thanatos down to 1/3 HP. C9 scattering, trying to escape. Loki teleports back in to join up with the rest of the team. C9's top laner is injured, but everybody else is fine. Nice catch from Vulcan onto Whippo, but it's not nice enough. Now Vulcan's in some danger, flashing away from the seismic shove to keep himself alive. FlyQuest with some damage on the health bars
good
of their
poke on Loki.
frontliners, though. Whippo and Inspired both taking some damage as Thanatos tries to disengage further. The solo laners for C9 also hurting as FlyQuest have managed to take control over the bot side river. They will earn themselves this Drake. That is sole point for FlyQuest.
Yeah, C9 did a good job of actually controlling that tri-brush. They landed that initial hook. They went in, looked like they were going to be able to put on a lot of... That being said, gold-wise, item-wise, Cloud9 still absolutely fine here. It is just the individual lead there for Masu.
FlyQuest involved in some way, shape, or form as they continue pushing down mid lane. Tier 1 turret under pressure now as Baron has at least spawned. FlyQuest now moving into the
For
C9.
both of those big carries for C9, they have to have a good moment here. Quad is on the side, looking for a good angle for the ulti.
He goes in with Weaver's wall. Loki tries to shovel him back, but now he's behind enemy lines. Busio here at the very front, gonna buy a little bit of extra time with the Tempered Fates. Blabber's caught up in it as well, but Busio is first to die. FlyQuest are about to lose their mid laner too. Inspired barely gets away off to the side, and C9 find a massive engage angle.
Loki steps up huge. He just goes in as soon as the Talia wall cuts them off, and he escapes with his life. He can get back out there. They're going to start the dragon. They want to deny this, but FlyQuest keeping some pressure with Busio and Masu.
It's Busio and Masu, but Inspired had to go all the way back to the base because the Poppy was so hurt. Now Whippo flashing back over the wall, trying to stay safe here. Blabber and the rest of C9 are very low on HP. Masu is low on mana. Whippo is almost completely Inspired still making his way down towards the fight as Sven flies over the killer instinct, and Masu is down. Sven stays alive. A double kill for the Kai'Sa as Vulcan locks up Inspired and C9 locks up the dragon.
That area. And now it's FlyQuest with pressure in mid. They're trying to draw C9 back towards them.
Ooh, Vulcan goes in for the flash engage on the dredge line, but it's not going to find a whole lot just yet. Inspired finally does drop the attempted counterattack there from Quad with the unraveled earth. Doesn't get anything for FlyQuest. Now Whippo's got to be careful. Loki wanted another big shuffle, but he barely misses Whippo. Thanatos jumps in and sets up another kill for Sven, who goes on a rampage with this Kai'Sa. C9 with a nearly 5,000 gold lead with a 5v3 3 on the map. Enemy jungler dead for the next 25 seconds. C9 starts the Baron.
That has to be a C9 Baron. There's no way this gets stolen.
Oh, that's the craziest jinx. That is the craziest jinx, Club.
There is no way. This continues there. Nidalee, you know, Whipple's trying to get some sort of, you know, compensation for FlyQuest, but Cloud9 push ahead very heavily, and they almost push their gold lead up to 7K.
And I want to see
How
how...
to have the Baron for another 45 seconds, and critically, the Dragon spawns in 30. So C9 has all the tools to control the Rift in the lead up to this next Infernal Drake. Thanatos just smacking Bwipo around in this 1v1. Made him look like a minion. Plus 300 for Thanatos on the solo kill.
Yeah, it's now looking like more of a mosquito over there than an actual cat, and they go for the engage.
Vulcan again with a nice engage on Inspired. If the enemy jungler dies, that Drake is completely free. Now you've got Thanatos teleporting in. He's going to go ahead and start pushing the bottom lane wave out as well. This is what I was mentioning earlier. You've got this Baron for a little bit longer than the Dragon timer, so you get to use that Baron upgrade to get those last couple of waves shoved out. Make it so FlyQuest can't answer. It is a little bit of extra distance to set up for one of these E's to find the engage on somebody. Now again, it's Vulcan leading the way. The Tempered Fate locks up everybody on FlyQuest. They got to be a little bit more careful than this. Masu's about to die at the very start of the fight. Thanatos into the back line yet again as Quad will fall. Masu will go with them, and Bwipo's about to be number 4. Only Busio left alive. C9 rises to the occasion in game number 3. It's a 5v Bard in the base, and Bard doesn't win nose. C9 will take out the first Nexus turret. They'll move right on to the second. They'll try to pad the stats a little bit further as Vulcan goes fishing and lands another one. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to game 4.
Put those brooms away. No sweep will be...
Can't really do much about, like, Kog'Maw just presses W and walks at her, and then Sivir, like, can use her spells back, but I think Kog'Maw's gonna win those trades.
Quick,
Yeah.
give us your favorite based on these drafts. I know it's a little
I talked to Inspired before, you know, he has said that he is one of those big carry threats. Inspired is right down to bot lane, though, early gank.
Yep, Busio flashes forward to immediately get the auto attack on Sven, starts stacking up that stun. Inspired just jumps forward. There's no way for Sven to get away. Inspired wanted to make it a clean 2-0, but not quite enough damage to force the kill on Vulcan. Now Blabber moving into the top side, seeing if he can find something in retaliation back against Bwipo, who once again takes the tower shot, and that means there's no chance for an outplay. 1 for 1.
So they just use that bombies for wave clear. They go into Deadman's, and then later the bombie gets turned into an MR item, and they kind of just go with that more supportive role, because the thought process is generally, if you get behind early, you're never going to win as Gen, because it is such an early game focused champ.
Thanatos down to 200 HP up here in the top lane as C9 working to secure themselves the first Drake of the game. Now Busio and Masu stepping up trying to challenge him here for it. Slam into the wall. Busio in danger. The Drake is already secured by C9 and they get a kill on top of it. Inspired wanted to jump in there and try to get something back, but the damage is not there. Masu still firing. Vulcan wants to try to get away, but it ain't gonna work. He dies. Loki dies. Everybody's dying as Blabber wanted to make a flash play, but it ain't gonna work.
There's one item, which is the Tiamat.
And the reward for Bwipo absorbing all that pressure, absorbing both of those ultimates, still staying alive, is that now Inspired is up here in this topside river, not even a minute after the grubs have spawned. He's already secured the first. He's going to secure the second. Cloud9 won't even be around to try to fight for the third, and they don't have the resources to do so anyway. So Bwipo, wasting that time and those resources, buys Inspired the opportunity to lock up these 3 grubs for FlyQuest.
Good challenge. You're going to have to go through a Braum, through a Stand United, through, you know, a Spirit's Refuge, that parry zone here from Bwipo. You're going to have to try to kill him through all that, which is so tough. And they're looking for Bwipo again.
All right, Bwipo wanting to try to sidestep away from the Skarner tackle, but it's not good enough. Meanwhile, 2v2 down in the bottom lane. Vulcan's got to try to disengage on that one as Bwipo does at least drop this time. C9's going to get what they came for in the top lane.
I mean, this is really good from Blabber. He's just going to keep going at Bwipo. He got away last time, played really well, but this time no flash. So now you go down, another kill goes to Thanatos, and you lose the play. Again, you get outscaled in this matchup, so it's going to be hard for him to maintain, you know, presence in that side lane. And one of the things I think people sometimes don't think about with Shen is, yeah, sure, you can ult away, great, help the other side of the map. But the problem is, if you never have push, there is such a cost to ulting away. You ult the other side of the map. I just want to farm. I just feel like you just want to farm, you just want to chill. You do not want to fight anywhere where Thanatos is right now. Just being on components here for Whipple. Great taunt.
Nice taunt on Sven there. Forces him to take 2 turret shots and the full damage from the Shen combo with the Q. That means Sven is down to 1/4 HP.
That's a PvP right there, Flowers.
Okay.
There you go. That counts.
Love of the game.
Just for the love of the game, as immediately the public execution from Thanatos jumping in after Quad, but he's already used the Chaos Storm to try to protect himself, and Whipple's joining up here with the rest of the team. A nice double impale from Blabber to guarantee that Loki's able to escape, and now it's Whipple in trouble. C9 brought reinforcements, and Loki brings the chains down on
Sitting is level 11, so you got your rank 2 ultimate. Love seeing some snowball with that champ. Meanwhile, though, Blabber gets locked up here in mid lane.
Blabber's getting shredded. He flashes over the wall to try to stay alive. Masu needs a little bit more damage, but they don't have enough firepower. Critically, Blabber escapes.
Yeah, and I'm actually really surprised. Loki stole the Stand United, never used it there. So, didn't think that it was worth coming through or had the confidence that they could get out without him. But that does mean he gets pushed there, and he's going to actually TP down to bot lane. They're going to actually look for a dive with Stand United.
Yeah, Quad is in some trouble here as the 3v1 is going to put him in a real tough spot. Chaos Storm will not protect him. C9 get killed, number 6.
I love the offensive use there of the Stand United from Loki. It's one of the reasons that Swippo, now Loki coming down, 3-man dive. He has gotten paid, and now it's Thanatos' turn to try to pay that back. He's got to be
It was a really close contest with those big fights.
Gotta run.
They got the first turret as well. C9 are feeling good about this current state of the game as Whippo tries to flash away, but Thanatos has Eclipse. He's 3-0 on the Mbessa. He does so much damage. Yeah, Quad's in danger now. That gravity well to try to protect himself from Loki, who was stolen away the Chaos Storm. Busio and Masu making their way down into the fight to try to protect their mid laner, but they've got to be careful because Blabber and Vulcan are also ready to contribute. Loki's still alone right now, but Thanatos has joined the party. This guy's the problem, as immediately FlyQuest have to scatter. Masu tries to flash back over the wall and barely stays alive, but C9 dog piles in and guarantees the Kog'Maw's gone. Thanatos backs back away, nearly survives with a shield, while Busio hops back over the wall to reinforce Quad.
Thanatos gold shutdown there looked like off of Thanatos, so a big injection of gold for him, but Thanatos still massively ahead. And we can see this one more time.
Here, but C9 still have total control over the Otacon pit with the objective down to about 5,000 HP. Vulcan going to be jumped on by Inspired, but that dog's got to be careful. He tries to get back away, while Blabber gets a massive 3-man impale as FlyQuest tries to make their way into the pit here for the fight. Blabber's going to be taken low, but he ain't taken down just yet. C9 running over FlyQuest in the Otacon fight. Thanatos is just way too far ahead. It's a 5-for-1.
Firing on them, and then Blabber flashes back in right as the stand behind me comes through. 3-man ulti.
The winner's bite. Blabber set up for position over the wall. Ishtal's impact, ready to lead the charge. Blabber goes in, only going to find the opportunity here onto Busio, ready to lock him up as Vulcan zones Masu further away from the fight. Whippo here on the front line. C9 undeterred, Masu under pressure, and Loki's already found the kill. FlyQuest can't do a thing about it. A double kill for Loki, a triple kill for Sven, a clean ace for Cloud9.
How much can they do? There's 40 seconds on Quad here. Can they just end the game? They're marching for it. Cloud9 want to deliver us a game 5.
They've got the minion wave, and they've got enough health bars that they're going to use themselves to absorb the turret shots, at least from this tier 3. The next minion wave is making its way up, but they don't believe they have the time. Masu
and then Loki had the stolen Braum ultimate. Vulcan goes super deep there.
Yeah, Masu was forced to flash and use Ghost. And look at Thanatos sneaks through.
All the other players in the league is a guy that will win a game against us. We'll see if they can actually do that, though.
Okay, FlyQuest looking for a chance here, but C9 are immediately going to stop that engage. Blabber wanted to find a flash and pale angle, but he ain't going to get it. Meanwhile, Thanatos again marks his target for public execution. The fight's over before it ever really began. Is an island. FlyQuest is not booking a vacation there anytime soon.
Not at all, man. Cloud9 played so heavily towards Thanatos this game. They get him in this matchup where they know, okay, you're going to lose early, but then and I feel like people had been overlooking them a little bit, especially after that best of 3. But even from scrims, everyone was telling me that FlyQuest was really a cut above where C9 is right now. And C9 looking like they are up to the challenge today.
Yeah, FlyQuest are about to be cut down here in this 4th game. The inhibitor destroyed in the mid lane now, as everybody else on C9 going to gather up here at the top lane. Tier 3 Thanatos absorbing the damage from the turret immediately, as now they continue their push forward. Loki looking to take out the first Nexus turret before anything else can even happen. FlyQuest just scrambling, trying to defend the last remnants of their base. C9 with the full push in full swing as Vulcan leads the charge into the back there with a quickness, stuck on the front line. There's no way for Bwipo to get out of it. At least one's going to get traded back as Masu kills Sven, but it does not matter. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to Silver Scrapes.
From the FlyQuest side, Leona, Gragas, and Lee Sin all there, and it is the expected Lulu with that Zeri pairing. This is exciting. This matchup really feels like, can you get in onto Sven and take him down? Because Sven is such an...
Teleport to competitive matches to immediately get back out. So,
Ooh, Zenith Blade on the Blabber over the wall. FlyQuest is going in for the first play, but they're taking a lot of damage in the process. First blood over to Blabber as it's a 1-for-1. Now they've locked up Loki. Masu flashing forward away from the C9 reinforcements as Busio just keeps him tied up for the Mega Inferno Bomb, and Sven's not getting anything else. FlyQuest.
Replay, and yeah, he looks frustrated. He looks a little bit worried because you know what that can mean for the game.
Yeah, very, very tough stuff to have to start off that way, and especially tough when FlyQuest is now able to follow it up with yet another grub play. That is, I believe, 4 out of 5 of the games now that FlyQuest has controlled a majority of grubs in. It'll be all...
So at the very least, they'll be able to end up with that, but it's already the Ludens completed super early off the early skirmish there.
Already touched on Luden's Companion, first fully completed item done for anyone in the game there for Masu. Because Sven stopped off to get level 1 boots. Hold on, we don't even have time to finish talking about it. Goodbye, Masu! The last shot in the air, and Sven picks him
Plays,
up.
you Q forward, you just get polymorphed, and all of a sudden, you can't move, you can't do anything, something falls up, and you just die.
Oh, speaking of not being able to move or do anything, Bwipo thought he was going to get a quick trade onto Loki, knows that he's going to go for those types of plays and immediately punish him.
A crafty trap was laid right there. Loki looking juicy, and Blabber already lying in wait inside the Dragon Pit. And these types of plays right before the objective spawns are what you need. Otherwise, your map is just collapsing in on you. As you can see, the top tower is gone. Quad finishes his work.
I mean, C9, another good kill, but very vulnerable.
Going
Sven
for a
is low
steal?
too.
Okay, Inspired looking to steal away the dragon. Not going to find it. Blabber with the smite secures that one. I was about to say, everybody's just got brown bag shoes, so nobody actually has any enchantments yet. But there's another turret going the way of
300 here for Blabber, just trumps it. And so he's able to get it before the Lee Sin comes in for the steal. So nice job again from
Really
him.
gets it in satchel range, and we know those outer tier 2s, you know, top lane, bot lane, are worth so much gold that it's this huge injection of gold that's just waiting.
Okay, Thanatos has just transformed back into Mini Gnar. The Mega Gnar not ready to be used again for a little bit longer as Blabber goes for the flash potential play here on Amasu, but he's not going to find the chance to do a whole lot more with it. Quad is free firing onto Blabber, who goes over the wall, but he's going to be killed by Busio's Ignite. Busio's low, but it's a second kill back over to FlyQuest. The Drake over to FlyQuest. C9 still trying to fight back, but Thanatos has to disengage. He's nearly ready to transform, but is it going to do anything at all? The Narbar sitting at 95%.
Feels like, as Blabber got very aggressive there, he tries to look for this kind of cute flash ulti onto Masu, tries to get around his opponents, drift to the side, flash him with the Q, nail the ulti, but no one was there to follow it up. Like, look at where Loki is.
A big bomba. That he got some good assists off that one. You saw Blabber go down from it. You saw the Akali also going down from it immediately.
Of it with the Zig Satchel, but 1 or 2 more auto attacks here should be able to put it in range. Masu gets the empowered one there, and sure enough, there it is. Satchel takes it down.
You're very likely for an IE, for Sven. They want that third item for Zeri. Of course, they have Zeri Lulu. Yes, there's great skilling on the other side, but one great fight from Zeri Lulu, we have seen it 1,000 times.
The game is broken on Soul or Baron here, and they're going to continue looking for the picks around the bigger objective.
The tough part is, when you're down to a third HP,
LDR.
this tower is just going to be gone as well. And you see Thanatos was kind of debating, what do I want to build? Do I want to build Randuin's here? Do I want to build towards the Wit's End? You know,
Start against Infernal Soul Zigs with a
no,
death cap?
sir.
The rewards are a little bit too big if they go next. Here we go, pick!
No, that was a massive catch! Sven is already down! That's the Zeri, that's the hyper carry. That's a teleport now bringing Thanatos straight into the waiting maw of death. C9 lose their most important player right as FlyQuest are ready to start the Baron up.
That might be the game. That might be the series for FlyQuest. Blabber, I mean, he's on red buff. He could like full send a miracle thing here, but it's just, it would be a one-way ticket, and then you would just lose your base afterwards anyway.
Yeah, and both Masu and Busio were waiting there to satchel him. They preempt the fight. They get the kill. They're marching on the base. Loki and Vulcan aren't even there. Sven is still dead. These towers are going to be dead instantly. Double inhib is sure to fall.
Loki is not even recalling yet. Yes, he's got his teleport if he needs to try to use it, but the mid lane inhibitor is already down. Bwipo putting in the work on the top lane tier 3 turret, nearly has that one killed off as well. Now Thanatos in some danger as Bwipo continues the charge forward. Wild growth on Thanatos trying to keep him alive. Sven is back and ready to fight, but now Thanatos has already lost Hysterics. He's transforming into Mega Gnar, but he's already got less than half HP. 2 inhibitors down in the C9 base. FlyQuest ready to turn this into a double super minion march in every single lane, or maybe just in the game if the opportunity presents itself. Blabber goes in for an engage, but he only finds Busio. Now Bwipo's leading the charge, and Sven nearly dies yet again. Loki tries to dive into the middle of everybody under the protection of the smoke, but it's not going to matter. There's no firepower to try to back him up. C9 nearly dead everywhere. Quad going on a killing spree. He's ready to reset, and C9 can't get away. Thanatos will die next. Yes, he gets one in retaliation, but what does it matter? FlyQuest go the distance against C9. They take the series 3-2, and they earn themselves a spot in the finals.